Reunited and it feels so good. That's how I'm feeling right now because I'm reunited with y'all doing this special NBA draft edition of this BS podcast show. And the whole theme here is reunited. That's why I had to sing my song because it's a lot of reuniting happening right now. As you got Tyson Chandler going back to the Dallas Mavericks. Then you got Aaron Aflalo going back to the Denver Nuggets. It's reuniting. This feels so good. And I'm glad that y'all reunite with me for this BS podcast show. I'm your host, Brandon Fryer, aka
The Fry Guys.
Yes. Sit down and relax your ears and get ready for another edition of this BS podcast show, NBA Draft Edition. We're doing this here live at the Bulls practice facility at the Berto Center. They got a lot of reporters here. We're all getting ready for the Bulls draft. You know me, love the Bulls. Basketball is my favorite sport, so I'm glad to be here. We got a lot of good things coming up for you this show. We're going to kind of rate some of the top prospects and say what we think about them. Like I said, I got the homie Mike here, by the way. So I said Mike's in the building. Me and Val, on the last show that we did, we decided to do a mock draft. He had the odds, I had the even. So it's something that we like to do. We like to BS around, of course. And it was in the seat of probably the general manager of this team or whoever picked. So he picks for all the odd teams. I pick for all the even teams. And we're going to tell you how our draft went down. We're going to have the whole first round for you. We're going to be doing that in quarters 2 and 3. That's how deep this draft is. We got to use 2 quarters just for this draft. And of course, we got Yo Ish, play of the game, full of bull, halftime. We got a great show for y'all. But before we do any of that, let's get you caught up with this BS update, all NBA draft related. And let's start off with a trade that happened between the New York Knicks and the Dallas Mavericks. As the Mavericks, they received Tyson Chandler. In return, Jose Calderon, Samuel Dalembert, Shane Larkin, and the 34th and the 51st pick goes to the Knicks. Phil Jackson already looked like he rebuilding. And another trade happened between the Denver Nuggets and the Orlando Magic because Aaron Aflalo is going to the Denver Nuggets. And while Orlando, they get the 56th pick and Evan Fournier. Rockets and the Pelicans did a trade. While the Rockets get a future first-round pick and clear up some cap space, the Pelicans get Omer Sheik. So it looked like Rockets trying to do their thing, try to create enough space for maybe a LeBron or Carmelo. That's something. Let's get you up there with these little rumors real quick, draft-related rumors. The Cavs and the 76ers are still discussing the trade that the Cavaliers will send the number 1 pick to the Philadelphia 76ers. And in return, they're saying right now the updated version is the number 3 pick, the number 10 pick, and the 32nd pick of this year's draft. The Raptors are also discussing a trade with the Grizzlies where they want that 22nd pick and they want that point guard out of Syracuse, Tyler Ennis. They want him. The Bulls are trying to package their 2 picks, the 16th pick and the 19th pick, to try to move up in the draft, and they're targeting a shooter, maybe Nick Stauskas or Doug McDermott. The Heat are trying to move up as well. They want a point guard in Shabazz Napier. Celtics trying to move up and get that number 1 pick too. They don't know what they're offering, probably all the picks and whatever else they want, but they are trying to get that number 1 pick from Cleveland. Cavaliers also talked to the Jazz about the number 1 pick. The latest rumor about the Jazz, they offered them Derek Favors, Alex Berg, probably their 5th pick, and some other little pieces in order to get that number 1 pick. They're still discussing. The Sacramento Kings are trying to give up that number 8 pick, and they're talking to the Pistons, who were kind of bummed out when they lost their pick to the Charlotte Hornets, but they're in discussion with that 8th pick for Josh Smith. So let's get back into this, talk about these draft prospects, the notable ones, in our first quarter. All right, first quarter, we're going to talk about these notable draft prospects. Mike's going to throw some names at me, and I'm going to tell you if that prospect is a Hall of Famer / superstar, an all-star, above average, or a bust. So, got a good, 5 options that I can go with. Say what this prospect is. He's going to throw some names. Mike, throw me the first name.
All right, man. First name, Joel Embiid. What do you think of Joel Embiid? What do you think he's going to be? That prospect is a what to you?
All right, that prospect to me is I think he's going to be a bust. Honestly, I really do believe he's going to be a bust. And the guy has game. He's a once-in-a-lifetime player. He would have been, if he was healthy, he would have been the obvious number one choice. I mean, he's one of those rare breeds. People who compare them, his high ceiling, best case scenario. The guy is the next Tim Duncan / Hakeem Olajuwon. That, to me, is a superstar Hall of Famer type of player. But his bust on him reads Greg Oden, which means he's plagued with injuries. And the fact that, granted, he has a broken foot or a leg injury, whatever it is, he has the broken foot. He's out for 4 to 6 months, which it's not that bad. He'll be back, but he had a back injury before that, which kept him out of the NCAA tournament. And then before that, he had another injury in high school. So, and he only been playing for 3 years, and he already got these injuries. And big man with feet kind of scared me. You saw Yao Ming's career got cut short for it. Rick Smith's kind of career was kind of rocky after that. And, you know, Greg Oden had a plague of injuries. And the fact that worst case is Greg Oden for him, that scares me for a guy that you would even take in that top tier. So to me, Joel Embiid is a bust. That prospect's a bust. Next one. All right, Andrew Wiggins. What do you say about Andrew Wiggins? All right, Andrew Wiggins, to me, should go number one, in my opinion. We're going to talk about the mock draft. Valman went number one, but I would take Andrew Wiggins number one if I was a Cat. Best case scenario, to me, he's like a Tracy McGrady-like. Very athletic. The man can play good perimeter defense. He just kind of gun shy. And if you got him in the backcourt with Kyrie Irving, who's not gun shy at all, you got a nice backcourt. And you can. This guy might be better probably down the line. He's more of a long-term kind of project. He's probably not NBA ready right now. But I think eventually he's going to be the one that could end up being the star of this draft. To me, maybe. But worst case scenario, he's DeMar DeRozan, which you see how DeMar DeRozan game this was this past season. Dude could have been a potential all-star. So to me, Andrew Wiggins is a all-star right now. He's an all-star.
Okay, next up, Jabari Parker. What do you say about Jabari Parker?
All right, Jabari Parker, Mike, to me, he is a all-star. The reason why I got him as an all-star, and he's almost borderline to say superstar, depending on what team he gets picked by. But to me, his best case scenario, to me, he's a Paul Pierce, Grant Hill before the injuries. The man can score. The man can put up buckets. Worst case scenario, I can have him as Carmelo Anthony. Now, before you go crazy and say, wait a minute, you're saying Paul Pierce is better than Carmelo Anthony? Hold on. Pump your brakes. Carmelo Anthony, so far, is a two-time scoring champ. And he can score the ball. He can flat out shoot. He can rebound a little bit too. But he can't play defense. And I don't think he has those qualities of a leadership type of role. Which that could be the case for Jabari. Mainly it's the focus on the defense. Jabari Parker is a horrible defender. To me, he was in college. The man, granted, maybe because he played the center position, but he was always fouled out. So in crunch time when Duke needed a basket, Jabari Parker wasn't on the court because he was fouled out. And to me, the best ability in sports is availability. So if you're not on the court, what can you do? If you're not on the field or you ain't playing, what can you do? So, but he can score it, light it up. The man can get on the team, probably already average between 15 and 20 points a game, depending on what team he gets picked now. So I got Jabari Parker as an all-star, borderline superstar. But right now, if I had to pick one, I'm not trying to pick two, all-star.
Okay, next up, Julius Randle. What do you think of Julius Randle?
Julius Randle, to me, will be, that one's tough. I'm going to say he's going to be above average. And the reason why I say he's going to be above average, simply because he's one of those old school type of power forwards. He's like, give me the ball in the post, bang, post moves. And really because the NBA has evolved more to a, you got a lot of stretch fours and stretch fives. He's going to have trouble with that. But he's still going to be capable. I mean, the guy, like high ceiling, they say he could be the next Chris Webber. So he has a borderline to be an all-star. And they say Larry Johnson. But worst case scenario is Derek Favors, who's a decent, let's say right now, average or above average type of player. And that's not bad for Julius Randle. So Julius Randle, above average. Next up.
Okay. B, you got Dante Exum. What you think of Dante Exum?
Dante Exum, to me, will be above average. I think he's good out of these. He has great potential, but I don't think I see his shot coming in. I haven't really seen him play too much against, I haven't seen him too much. He's been international. He just hasn't been around. He has some good showings against, elite competition. Granted, which means, to me, he's a capable NBA player. He's above average. Right now, they're saying best case scenario, he's Michael Carter-Williams. Worst case scenario, he's Sean Livingston. To me, those two are pretty much the same. Best case is Mark Carter-Williams, and then worst case, Sean Livingston. Because Sean Livingston balled this year. Mark Carter-Williams started off ball, and then he kind of dwindled down. So to me, they're at the same level. So to me, that's just an above-average player. So Dante Exum, to me, above average. Now, depending on what team he gets with and who can really utilize his skills, the man could be an all-star. You got any more, Mike?
Yeah, I got a couple more. Next up, Marcus Smart. What do you think of Marcus Smart?
Marcus Smart, to me, will be an all-star. And the reason why I say that prospect is going to be an all-star, the man's ceiling to me is Jason Kidd combined with a Chris Paul type of mentality and leadership. He doesn't like to lose. He's a fierce competitor. And I feel like he has that drive to be great. And he can overcome adversity, obviously what he's been through in the college season. To me, that man right there screams also. Worst case scenario, I think he's just what they said, Ty Lawson for him. That's not a bad worst case scenario because to me, Ty Lawson can sneak into some all-star games. So to me, Marcus Smart is an all-star. And my homie Val thinks Marcus Smart is the man. You wait till we get to our mock draft. I can't wait for that. You got any one, last one, or is that it? Mike, that's it?
No, one more. Aaron Gordon. What do you think of Aaron Gordon?
Aaron Gordon. Now, that one's tough. It all depends on what position he plays. I feel like if he plays small forward, that man's ended up going to be, worst case scenario, like a Derek Williams or a Dante Green, which means you're that tweener. You can't find a position because of the team that drafted you, which means you get lost, you lose your confidence, and then he kind of fades out. If he gets on the right team, I feel like he should play the power forward because his best case scenario, they call him mini Blake Griffin. The man can dunk out the gym. The man really showed his work when they went and played international ball when he was on the USA team once. And the man was a star of that team. To me, you put him in the right system, Aaron Gordon has the potential to be an all-star. But if you get him, worst case scenario, as a tweener, stuff like that, the guy can end up being a bust. But right now, I'm going to hope that people know how to utilize Aaron Gordon because the man is a fierce competitor. The man could be an all-star next quarter. Okay, we're about to get into our mock draft of the whole first round. This quarter, we're only probably going to get up to the lottery, and then next quarter, we'll probably, get into the second half of the first round. But it was between my boy, Val, and myself. And since he was the guest, I gave him the first pick. He actually resided in Cleveland, when he was a big LeBron fan, Cavs. So I let him have the first pick. And his first pick was Andrew Wiggins. Reason pretty much why he said Andrew Wiggins, they need some type of defender there, somebody who knows how to play defense, and he has the potential to be a superstar down the line. And you know what? Play some defense. He said that's what the Cavs needed. Then I was the Bucks. I kind of went a little different. I had the Bucks taking Dante Exum. The reason why they said they're very intrigued in the backcourt, having Dante Exum and Brandon Knight as their backcourt. Dante Exum, it's Milwaukee, and he's a foreign player from Australia. So, maybe a lot of players don't want to play in Milwaukee. Now, I was thinking of giving it to Jabari. It's just hard to find Jabari Parker a position there with the Greek freak there because they pretty much play the same position. So that's why I picked Dante Exum there. And then you got him with Greek the Freak, Larry Sanders, Brandon Knight, John Henson. You got a nice young squad to kind of grow and develop together. Then Bauman came back and he picked for the 76ers and he picked Marcus Smart. That's crazy. I'm sorry. I had to interrupt. That's your homie. I'm not going to knock him. You know what I'm saying? But I really think he's crazy. Marcus Smart over Jabari Parker. Marcus Smart is not a top 3 player in this league. However, though, his explanation was very good, though, Mike. Because the reason why he said Marcus Smart, because they probably need like a point guard. He could play both guard positions. And they have a tall point guard. So then, maybe you can have Marcus Smart play that 2-guard position. However, though, Jabari Parker is sitting right there. This is a team that needs some scores. Like, Michael Carter-Williams can't score. Noel cannot really score. They need some wing scorers on that squad. I just don't agree with it. Marcus Smart, to me, you could have traded back and got a Marcus Smart. You don't pick him number 3.
Like, I can understand picking him number 3 if, Parker and Wiggins are taking, then you just like, well, I guess I'll take Marcus Smart. I just don't agree with that. Like, Parker, you just pass on Parker?
Okay, before you probably gonna snap on me because then I was the Magic. And I saw Jabari Parker right there, but I picked Joel Embiid. And the reason why, you have a big dude, you pair him with Nicholas Vucevic, and then you got, Victor Oladipo, I picked him.
I also think you're crazy because, like I said before, Jabari Parker is right there. And you got a chance to take him, you take him. Like, he's probably going to end up being, he's the most NBA ready player right now in the game. And you passed on. I'm sorry, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let y'all do y'all thing.
All right, calm down. Because Val at number 5 had the Jazz picking Jabari Parker. Then I went back and I was the Celtics. I picked Aaron Gordon. He was the Lakers. He picked Julius Randle. I was Sacramento. I did the rumored trade. I traded the pick to the Pistons. We threw in some people like I wanted Josh Smith back. I gave him like Jason Thomas and the number 8 pick and, throw in some pieces there. But it's pretty much centered around that number 8 pick and Josh Smith. So now I'm not the Kings. I'm the Pistons. And now I have that pick, the number 8 pick. I picked Nick Stauskas because Pistons need some shooters to kind of space out their floor for the offense for them. Then Valman was the Hornets. He picked Doug McDermott, which I think was a great pick because they need shooters and to spread that floor and the offense for their team. Then I was the Sixers. I picked for them Noah Vonleh. I mean, he to me is sliding. He's kind of quietly. Nobody's not saying his name. So then I picked him. Then Valman came back with the Nuggets. He picked Gary Harris, which I think is a great pick. But now with them getting Aaron Aflalo back, would you have Gary Harris now? We did this prior to that trade. Then I was the Magic. I picked for them Ephron Payton. The boy, to me, has the small market potential, that small market point guard. The man is rising up the board. He was coming into it was a late first round pick, and that is man is pretty much going to jump in the lottery. Some people say he might go top 10. We didn't put him in the top 10, but I got him going to the Magic. And then you got him with Joe Embiid and Victor Oladipo. It's just crazy. Then he was the Timberwolves. He picked Payne, Adrian Payne from Michigan State, which I feel like is a great pick for them because they get a stretch forward to kind of replace Kevin Love. Then I was the Suns, and I picked Zach LaVine. They need some type of, combo guard. He could play the point a little bit, but he's mostly a 2 guard, and he's bigger because he's 6'5", 6'6". So you got that just in case you lose Eric Bledsoe. You got like some type of insurance plan just in case. Let's get into halftime. Take a break from the louder room. We'll get back into it, but let's get into halftime. We talk about the NBA draft, but let's finish it off. I've been doing this for the past weeks now, and it's our 2014 top 50 NBA players right now. I'm going to do it. This is from numbers 10 through 1, but I'm going to give you the top 5 right now. So number 5 all the way up to number 1. Number 5, I got Paul George. This man to me was going into the season before the All-Star break. You could say he was number 3 in that MVP race right behind LeBron James and Kevin Durant, but he kind of fell off a little bit. So the fact that you was number 3, you fell a little bit. But he still has some good performances and kind of led his team to get to Eastern Conference Finals. So right now, he's my number 5 NBA player right now. Number 4, I gave it to Blake Griffin. Now, Blake Griffin was number 3 finished in the voting for MVP. However, he's not the true leader of that team to me. The true leader of that team is the guy who I got number 3, and that's Chris Paul. To me, he's the true leader of what the Clippers do. He is the glue to the Clippers. Number 2, I got Kevin Durant. Even though he won MVP, one thing he's missing from the number 1 player is defense. And that is something that the number 1 player has, and that is LeBron James. He can pretty much do it all right now. Even though he didn't win the MVP, he was right there. And some people was even saying LeBron James should still win the MVP because of what he was doing more for the team. But LeBron James, if there was a draft right now, LeBron James would be that number 1 pick. Let's get back into this mock draft. All right, back in our mock draft, Valman's the Hawks, and with the 15th pick, he selected Rodney Hood out of Duke. Then I came with my hometown, the Bulls. Derrick Rose always been hurt. DJ Augustine's gone. Kurt Heinrich could be gone too. So I got them Shabazz Napier at number 16, point guard out of Connecticut. Then Valman was the Celtics. He picked Clint Capelli or something like that, or Capelli or whatever his name is. Picked Mike's laughing. Picked him. Then I was the Suns. I picked for them Dario Sacre. Get a mustache player. Then Valma was the Bulls, and he said, you know what? They're going to get TJ Warren. How about that? Old school small forward, need a swing player for him who can just get buckets offensively. Then I was the Raps. I picked them, Tyler Ennis. So they got their point guard just in case Kyle Lowry left. Now, Valman was Oklahoma City, but he decided to package the number 21 and the 29th pick to the Knicks, since the Knicks really wanted a first rounder, and in return he got Amon Shumpert. So now he's picking for the Knicks, and he said the Knicks will pick James Young there. Then I was the Grizzlies. I picked them Jordan Adams. I think this kid could be something special. Like, got that old school game, but he could put it up, and he's getting better defensively as well. Valma was the Jazz. He picked Cal Anderson. I became the Hornets. I gave them P.J. Harrison, so they got the D-leaguer. Then he was the Rockets. He picked Yusuf Nurkic. I think I did that perfectly, Mike. What do you think? I think you did it great, man. See? We finally sinking, Mike. We finally sinking. Yeah, but not for long. Whatever, man. So, then the Heat come up. And I was the Heat, so I gave them Jadine Carson out of Arizona State. They need a point guard. Not too many point guards left on the clock. So, second round pick. You know how some people who look like they were second round picks end up being in the first round? Gave them him. Then, he was the Suns, but he decided to trade that pick to the Pelicans. He traded for Austin Rivers, so Suns get Austin Rivers. Pelicans get this pick, which is the 27th pick, and he picks Glenn Robinson III for the Pelicans. Then I was the Clippers. I gave them KJ McDaniels because they need some defensive wing help. Then this is the Knicks again. Remember, he was Oklahoma City, and he packaged the 21st and 29th pick. He gave it to the Knicks, so the Knicks are picking again, and he gives them a point guard. He gave them Russ Smith. Hey, Russ Smith, I got him as a second-round pick, but it wouldn't shock me if you always get those second-round picks that go into the first round, late first round. Then I was the Spurs. I wanted to get the kid from Wichita State, but then thinking about it and talking to even Val, me and him was discussing it. Spurs love to go international, so why not? And I got them, Walt Tavares, the 7'3" center out of Spain. I think this kid is their pick, and he could probably move Thiago Splitting down to power forward. And then, if Tim Duncan Lee, you got him coming in later. So that's our draft. Let us know what you think. Our first round mock draft. I think he did a good job. I think I did a good job. Mike is so frustrated about Jabari Parker. I mean, he's so mad that Jabari Parker fell to fifth. Oh, my God. If you got a thing for Jabari Parker or something, like, you just got your little man crush. I mean, I'm just saying, Jabari Parker, to me, is one of the best, most NBA-ready players in the game. And the fact that you and him got him going all the way to 5 just shocks me. It just shocks me. You know that's not going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen in the NBA draft. It's all about surprises, baby. All about surprises. Next quarter. It's time for my favorite segment, Your Issue. Send me your questions at this BS show via Twitter, and I answer them right here. They got to be NBA draft related, and my man, the Caliber David, said, which teams will trade their first round picks? To answer that, there's going to be a lot of teams with multiple picks. You got Charlotte, who has the number 9 and 24th pick. The Sixers has the 3 and the 10. The Kings been rumored to trade it, even though they got 1, but they've been rumored to trade it. But also the Magic, they got 4 and 12. The Bulls got 16 and 19. Then you got the Suns, who got 3 picks. They got 14, 18, and 27. And then the Thunder. You saw Val's, he traded that, packaged that to the Knicks. They have 21 and 29. So look out for those teams with multiple picks. They can move up, down, side to side, superstar. Those are the ones I see. Next, Payton 0952 said, which rookie will win Rookie of the Year by the end of this year? To me, it's easy. To me, the one that Mike's been so crazy about to say this is the most NBA-ready player, Jabari Parker, will win Rookie of the Year. But then to follow that, another dude, Sephrin8694, said, who will be a star in this draft 5 years from now? And to me, that's why I go back to what I'm saying, and I think it's going to be Andrew Wiggins. If he could get his offensive game right,
He's a complete package. And I feel like it's easier to get your offensive game going than your defensive game. Just my opinion. My BS player of the game goes to, let's stay it, since these prospects are coming from college, let's keep it with college because it goes to the University of Texas Athletic Program. The reason why they were rated #1 in the Forbes list when it comes to money in their gross. Remember, Texas got their own channel. I got it here, the Longhorn Network. And I know there's more other channels with schools, but the fact that Texas is like one of the biggest states, and it's like football country, but their basketball program is good. They're getting the most revenue out of all other athletic programs. So for that, they deserve this week's BS Player of the Game NBA Draft Edition. My Fuller Bull, let's stay in the NBA, goes to the Nets owner, Mikhail Pokovich. The reason why, he said he had no interest selling the Nets. And I say that is a full of bull. The reason why I say it's full of bull? Well, simple. The reason why I say it's full of bull? Stop lying. Now, granted, you're a businessman because you're going to see what your team's worth. You probably saw that $2 billion that the Clippers went for, and you was like, I want to see what my team's worth. And trust me, if somebody said, I'll give you 4, 3, 5 billion, you'll sell that team too. So don't say you got no interest because you wouldn't be looking around. So don't feed me BS and call it sugar grits. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Mikhail, say that ish for the birds. I want y'all to go on my Tumblr page whenever you get a chance. You can catch the full top 50 NBA players right now, our 2014 BS version. You can see them all from numbers 50 all the way to #1 and each explanation of why I put them there. Also, you can check out the NBA draft power ranking board that we have. Since there's 15 players on a team, we got our top 15 draft prospects, and I rate them from 1 to 15. Check them out. You can also click their name, and you can see their whole bio and their strengths and weaknesses. See their whole profile. Videos too is dope. Check it out. And that's on thefrybs.tumblr.com. Also, go on our YouTube page. Just type in this BS show. Subscribe to the page if you can. If not, just give a listen, man. We like the views, and give us feedback at Twitter, at this BS show. Send us your questions so I can answer them your ish. And I just like feedback. I appreciate it. Like I appreciate y'all for listening to this BS podcast show, NBA Draft Edition. I want to give some shout outs. I want to thank my man Mike, who made it all the way over here to Deerfield to do this show with me. He didn't have to, but he did. I appreciate it. Shout out to my man Val for giving me his opinions for our mock draft. Danae, always a great help. I love her to death. She's the greatest. Also, we got Angela Lewis, Devin Washington, Lawrence Holmes, Jonathan Hood, the Game Family, Connor McKnight. You guys for listening. Remember, life is a game, so play hard all 4 quarters. This has been another edition of this BS podcast show. I'm your host, Brandon Fry, aka the Fry Guy. 2 fingers in the air. Peace. I'll see you next week, man. Mike, I'm a Chicago dude, and I like Jabari Parker, but I'm not going to go on no rant about Jabari Parker thinking he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. All I'm saying is y'all had him dropping to 5. Y'all know he's not the 5th best prospect. It doesn't matter about 5th best prospect, though. It matters about, like, teams' needs and the best available player. So he's not probably the 5th best player, but as I'm looking at the team, where could he fit better at? I think, he would fit better with Utah. I think that's actually the better fit for him. But he's not going number 5. It don't matter, man. Calm down. Chill.
Bye-bye. Tripping. I'm out of here anyway. Peace out.